Welcome. On this channel, I do unscripted, unedited videos about Linux programming and stuff. I am currently working on a toy multiplayer space game. And in this particular video, we're going to start to take, we're going to work on some code, but we're going to use Claude code to do it. So something a little different. So let's start here. We'll just, so I'm not going to talk about installing Claude or anything. I have Claude installed, and I am using the Opus model for what I'll be doing today. Really, I'm pretty new to Claude, so this is just a bunch of experimenting. I think that we'll see how it turns out. I'm hopeful. Okay, so right now, let's make clean, make the tests. Actually, let's just run the tests. I think we have, yeah, we have passing tests everywhere. The only one that, I mean, they all have kind of a little stub of a test in it, but the test queue is the only one that really even has any kind of test in it at all. And I think that that's where I'm going to start today, is I just want to improve on the tests that are in there for that queue module. So let's start with asking, I'm going to put Claude in plan mode here so that it doesn't automatically execute everything. We'll have to specifically ask it to, or specifically give it permission. Actually, I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it this way. I'm actually going to try it with auto accept edits, but I'm going to be very specific about how I prompt it. So how about this? So review, test, queue, and make recommendations for improvements. I'm just going to leave it that way for now. Let's see what it gives us. So my intention is to kind of work in a cycle where I'm going to ask it for a recommendation. We'll review that recommendation, and then ask it to apply that recommendation. Here are my recommendations for improving the queue tests. Add edge cases. Memory leak testing. Add test to verify proper cleanup. Thread safety tests. Additional test coverage. Tests with different type messages. Update to-dos. Add edge case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lose this. I'm going to get tired of scrolling back to it, I bet. So what I'm going to do is write recommendations to, what do I want to call this? I'll call it, I think I have it to do, right? Don't want to overwrite it. I do not have it to do, so I'm just going to say to-do.md. I wonder why it is showing. Did it think it completed them? I don't know. Let's take a look at what the... So, no, we got the exact same to-dos that are in there. Now, this first one, add edge case test popping. So it's referring to these as the queue test improvements and the high priority. Let's just do them one at a time. Well, let's make sure we're on a clean git status. Okay, so the to-do is the only thing. We don't want to commit that. What we're going to do is we're going to test popping from an empty queue. Let's implement the first item in the what did it? A high priority list. Test popping from an empty queue. That should be good. So right now, actually, we should probably grab it and take a look at it, but that is a very empty, it has one test in it. Test pop from empty queue. Creates the queue. We pop it without pushing. And then we destroy the queue. We expect test. We expect null. And then we add it to the list of tests. What is it still doing? Oh, is it running the test? I should have asked it to verify the test pass. I think it might be doing a plan to run the tests. Find out. It's been chewing away on it for a few seconds. Oh, I'm playing in the same folder it is, so... Where the heck is this thing going? I haven't really ever seen it run quite that long on such a simple prompt. Oh, it's running make test. See that much. Error. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, we have an error in the game test. Do you want to proceed? Why would we end up with an error? I thought no. Run Q tests directly. Yes, just Q tests. And then we'll come back and address whatever this error is with it's interesting that it does figure out quickly how to run the individual tests. And it's kind of obvious to us, but I'm always surprised when things end up being obvious to a machine. Looks like we're kind of off into the same problem here. Let's see what's going on. So, what are the diffs in test? We added the test, so I would expect that to get status make clean make. Sorry, I want make clean make tests. Okay, so all the tests build fine. and then bin Q tests. That's the problem. Something that they added there. So which Vim test? I wouldn't, given the look of that code, I wouldn't have expected a problem. But I think that the Q just isn't. Okay, so that was the one that failed. Make clean, make. So interestingly, by the way, Gemini wrote the Q. Claude here was trying to build a test for it. Make tests, and then see, now the Q tests return there just fine. Oh, well, they did the last time here, but it hung when it was, but it passed here. Oh no, that was just the make. Okay. Again, that was just, so make test. Everything passes. There's only the one test. Vim test. Q. Uncomment these. Make test. And we hang. Okay, so there is the problem. The problem is that the test doesn't actually test the behavior that the queue actually implements. So what the test was asking to do was it's expecting, and it's expecting for. So what do we have here? We create a queue, we test assert not null, test assert. Why would it think? So we create it, we assert the, okay, so we create it, we assert the queue is not null. We try to pop a message and we test assert null. So let's just do this. Let's say up update source Q C, so that popping, doing a Q pop on an empty queue results in null being returned. Ooh, I don't want to do that. Stop. What I want to do is I want to have it suggest a solution. Suggest a solution such that suggest a solution for modifying source Q C. Suggest a solution for modifying source Q.C such that popping doing a on an empty queue honestly though, I think I want it to return an error. Returns, hold it. Returns null. I suppose the answer is that we want it to return null but set an error. I kind of have to figure this out. Assert queue. Okay, so the recommended here, non-blocking pop, replace the while loop with an if statement to check if empty and return null. At a separate non-blocking pop. Okay, so it was a blocking, so it wrote essentially a blocking queue that would wait for messages. Do I want it to be a blocking queue that waits for messages? Actually, we probably do. So, okay, what we really want is to correct that behavior, but how would we test for a blocking? Oh, let's just clear the entire thing and reset the code. That was a bad path for me to take. Git checkout tests queue. Test popping from an empty queue. I just made a bad assumption there. It's intended to be a blocking queue. So what we're going to do is implement a test in test queue test such that it blocks. How would you do this? Such that it blocks on a such that queue implement. Okay, so we're going to do implement a threaded test in implement a threaded test in test.queue such that queue pop blocks until implement a threaded test in test queue test such that queue pop such that you verify queue pop blocks on an empty queue until a message is pushed onto that queue. I guess we're going to be looking straight at the change. That's fine. We can so we're including, yeah. Okay. So, creates the queue, creates both threads, P-thread consumer, no, blah, blah, blah. It is a pretty darn long sleep. Oh no, it's use sleep. P-thread create. P-thread join them. Test. Everything passes. Okay. Perfect. Creating a consumer thread that immediately calls QPOP on an empty queue. Waiting 10 milliseconds to ensure the consumer is blocked. Reduce the wait from 10 milliseconds to 3 milliseconds. The consumer thread successfully receives the message once it's pushed. Both threads complete successfully, confirming the blocking behavior works correctly. Okay. So, prepare a git commit, propose a git commit message for the current changes. Here's a proposed commit message test. Add a thread test for queue, blocking behavior, verify, blah, 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 blah. Verify that QPOP correctly blocks, yes. Make the suggested commit. Oh no. Check out a branch named video 57. This create the suggested commit. Blah 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 blah. Generated with Claude, co-authored. 3. Use a single line co-author attribution for Claude when making commits. Yes, verify. Okay, yes. Make clean, make test. Nice. And we have our pop blocks test here, Vim's test queue. Wow, it leaving behind all that extra white space. Remove remove the extra white space. So let's do one more thing. Add instructions in Claude in the to only use single line co-author attributions for Claude. Git commit guidelines. When creating commits, use single line co-author attribution, co-authored by Claude. Yes, that is good. And then I'm going to do one more, which is update Claude MD to add instructions to trim all trailing white space when making code edits. Always, code style guidelines, always trim trailing white space from all lines that make when making code edits. Looks good. So, git status. The only thing, I have, I currently have the Claude file on git ignore. I'll probably add it later. I want to clean it up a little bit, I think. Well, actually, let's just take a look. Maybe we'll add it now. Yeah, I think I'll just add it now. So, update .git ignore. We'll do it different. Remove Claude MD from .git ignore. I guess I'm overusing it here a little bit, but and then create, propose a commit message for the current changes. The only thing we updated was the Claude file and git ignore. Track Claude MD and version control, remove Claude from git ignore and add code style guidelines including. Okay, so make the proposed commit. Well, I think my, so initially, not understanding that the queue was a blocking queue by design. And I think that is actually what I want. It's a little unclear at this point. It's going to be used in the epoll loop. And most likely that is what we want, is the worker threads just blocked reading from the queue, and then waiting for something to be shoved onto the queue for them. So that completely makes sense that was what was written. And I'm going to clear that context and call this a video, our first look at Claude code, and I think I kind of like it. I will see everyone in the next video.